I believe my whole team is back. Mark, are you there?
Yes, I
Okay.
am. I just went back to my my computer.
Yep. Okay.
All right, so we were going to give you, well, here's what we're going to do. Okay, so we're good with saying the typo. Wait, hold on, I got a wicked echo here. Kyle, is that you? There he goes. We had to close the door. Still getting an echo. Still getting an echo. All right. So there was a typo. Let me see which one that was. That we're gonna TA about where it had the wrong article about summer employment.
Got it.
Okay. Then, as far as your proposal on rewording the discretionary days, well, we want to look at that some more, maybe bring a counter proposal. We understand what you're trying to do. We just don't know if it makes sense to us. So we're going to look at that and get you a counter proposal on that. As far as the professional development, we want a more time to look at that proposal and maybe offer a counter proposal. The welfare piece about the SIAC committee accepting what the SIAC committee says without bargaining, or however it's worded, we are going to reject that one. We need more time to look at the ROTC, as I mentioned previously. And then I think that was all of yours except for the health insurance. Did I miss any?
Yeah, well, you know, I missed one, and you do this to me all the time, so I don't feel badly about doing this.
Okay, what's that?
So if you scroll down, in fact, I can share it if you'd like me to. So hang on, let me get to it. I forgot that there is a page 2 to the Article 6. And you have it, but let me, I think it's pretty, oh, that's the wrong one. I think it's pretty innocuous. Let me find it, hang on. Why can't I find Article 6?
What you're talking about, it says, it used to say in April of each school year, schools will compile a list of anticipated vacancies. And then what you're proposing is no earlier than February, but no later than April.
Yes. And that was on page 2 of the Article 6 one underneath the calendar stuff. I apologize for that. I didn't scroll down. I have an issue with scrolling.
Now, why are you asking for that?
So one of the things that we noticed a couple years ago is that we are hindered by finding really good, it has to do with your recruiting, right, and retention. We're hindered by finding some great candidates because we're one of the districts that puts our advertisements out later than anybody else around. And 2 years ago, not this past summer, but the summer of 19, the earliest date that our schools could advertise, in my language, to the world was Memorial Day weekend. So last year we moved it up at least 2 weeks, and so we were able to advertise 2 weeks earlier to the world. We had gotten through the involuntary voluntary, we had gotten through the open transfer window, we had gotten through the priority schools advertising their thing. Everybody else got to put out, and if I remember the date correctly, it was around May 16th. I could be wrong by a few days. So one of the things we would like to continue to move it back or earlier. I guess I don't know if that's back forward but earlier. Because again, if you look at Seminole, if you look at Osceola, if you look at Orange County, they all start advertising in late winter, not early spring. And we don't get out to the world until in May. So if we can move our process up a little bit, we could advertise once we're through all of our involuntary, voluntary, open, all that stuff, we could advertise to the outside world a little bit earlier. And the only reason that, or the only way to do that is if we're allowed to start the process a little bit early.
So would that change the open transfer period to make that earlier as well?
It would take everything and move it earlier.
So
Everything.
Typically now we have the 2-week transfer window, and that is what last year that was in April, right?
Yes, every year it's in April.
So
As
that
the
would,
contract says, in April.
so that would potentially move that to March or
March.
even, okay. All right, well, let us talk about that and bring you back an answer on that, but.
And just to be clear, we're not, we haven't established a timeline for next year to even know, or for this year, I guess, this year to reappoint for next year. We haven't even finalized a timeline to, that even outlines what it would look like, because, you know, we just haven't established that timeline yet, but we have always been tied to April. And so, not that we even would move it up, but it gives us the option to move it up if we could figure out that timeline.
All right, so let us mull that one over some. And then we do have a counter proposal for health insurance. I'm not even touching any of the language additions. I need time to review those, but we are suggesting some different premium increases. So, Dr. Green, if you can stop sharing your screen so I could share mine.
Sorry, my fault.
Okay, is everybody looking at the health insurance proposals?
Do you want me to explain this, Anthony, or you got it?
I'm good for now. Kyle might need you to jump in. So it's actually not vastly different than what BPS proposed. We believe that our proposal would generate $1,612,000, where you believe that your proposal would generate $1.7 million. So it's only $88,000 difference. The reason the difference comes in the estimation of migration. The district plan assumes a 60% migration into the silver network. What we're suggesting is that there would be a 40% migration into the silver network. So we believe it to be the reverse of what you guys are saying as far as the 60-40 breakdown. I asked Mark earlier, and he agreed that if more people stay on the gold plan, then we actually generate more money for the plan, which is the most important thing that we need right now is money. The savings in the long term by switching to the silver network would be helpful, very helpful, but in the short term, we need funds. So we're suggesting just some slightly lower, well, I don't want to say slightly, a little lower premium increases. But like I said, we believe it would generate about the same amount of money. So one of the reasons why we did this, to be honest, is we felt like, especially for the employee and family and employee and spouse, those increases of a flat 25% are just too much for an employee to handle. $140 loss a month by switching to, by staying in this plan and being subjected to the premium increases is just too much for most of our employees to handle, or a $110 loss for an employee and spouse, and even $70 for employee and children. So what we've suggested for increases, we don't have a flat percentage increase. We went with amounts that we thought were manageable. So what we suggested for an employee only was an increase of $20 a month. That's $10 per paycheck. That's a very manageable amount. You guys had suggested $26.67. Not much of a difference there. Employee and spouse, you had asked for $110. We're suggesting $65. Employee and children, you had suggested $69. We're suggesting $40, which would be $20 a paycheck. And family, you were suggesting $140, and we are suggesting an $80 increase. But we still believe that the revenue generated would be close to what you're hoping to get, because we believe that more people would stay on the gold plan, and that would increase the amount of revenue coming in, because more people, although the premium increases would be smaller, there would be more people subjected to those premium increases. So we're not arguing with the copays or deductibles. We understand the reasons for those changes, except in the one spot we believe there's a typo that Kyle discussed. We understand folks will have the option of the alternate network without any premium increases or deductible increases, copay increases, and that is a great option. But especially as this silver network is a new network, folks might be hesitant to make that change with something that's brand new. We still think there's a pretty good incentive for moving to the silver network, but at the same time, those that want to stay in the gold plan, gold network, whatever we're calling, it's an increase. There are many increases, but it's manageable as far as premium increases. So like I said, I'm not prepared to respond to some of the other language that was suggested, but I mean, the crux of it is the premium increases and design changes. And what I'm saying is we're good with the design changes, we get them, but the premium increases, we want our employees to be able to really have a choice to stay on the plan and not essentially be costed out. So that's where we're at, and we wanted to get you this because we know that there is a time crunch.
Okay. So a little bit about your proposals to us. We have nothing that we are outright saying we're not going to look at. The parental leave, of course, is a cost factor, and we're going to have to look at some of the costs that go with that. Not sure that we agree that the only cost that there is the sub cost, because again, there's a cost upon retirement. But we will look at that and we'll come back to you. Your next couple proposals had to do somewhat with the situation that we found ourselves in this year with COVID. And so we most likely will come back with, we're not outright rejecting them. We'll probably come back with a counter related to the, not related to the article about annual contract reappointment, related to the article about comp time utilization. We agree with your summer employment preferential treatment for PSC to be removed. We do agree with that.
Okay,
And the supplement plan, we will certainly start working on and studying and be ready to respond on the 16th. I think I said 16th earlier. I think the 16th is our scheduled date.
yeah. So, you know, we were saying if you guys want to meet again next week, we probably could meet on Tuesday if you want to. I know as
Okay.
far as the salary proposal, you still might not be ready to have an answer on that, but
Okay, let me get back with you on that date. I
Okay.
know that there's something happening Tuesday afternoon. There's not a board meeting, it's the day after. But let us get back with you. Let us check
Okay.
everyone's calendar and we'll get back with you.
all right.
But we're not opposed to having an interim session before the 16th is what I'm saying.
Okay, so and just for everybody listening, the next one that we have scheduled right now is the 16th at 4 o'clock, and it will be done virtually again. And if we come up with something else, we'll let you know. So did you want to talk more about the health insurance or our health insurance proposal?
Well, I think we'll have to have time to look at the costs for it. And perhaps if we get back together next week, we'll discuss that.
Okay, all right. I think that is it.
Thank you, Kyle, for setting this all up. It was quite easy, except for my 6 robotic proofs.
I'm sorry, Dr. Green. I meant that for Rick. I don't know what happened.
Oh, well,
We're gonna make YouTube stars out of you guys. So.
Okay, I'm gonna pause this now. Stop.